What's up? Today we're going to check out PARKET Evolution. I had the chance to meet this dev the other day. Super cool, younger guy, just kind of working on learning, putting his skills out there and learning some things. He made this game called PARKET Evolution. Released it, as you can see, a couple months ago. And, it's just it's about jumping, and it's a 3D platformer, so let's give it a shot. Actually, I've already played it a good bit already, as you'll see on there. Made a video, made a mistake, and it didn't work so well. So, all right, here we're greeted with the menu screen. Obviously, a couple things stand out here. One is no controller support at all. So we're using an Xbox One controller hooked up wirelessly. No support here for the controller at all. So you have to do everything with the mouse. When you mouse over things, you can't tell if you're moused over it or not, right? So, like, if I'm out here clicking options, nothing's happening. But once I get into the right area, then it clicks it. So having an indicator that, the player has their cursor over it is a big help. Nice and easy, greeted with just a couple things. Play outfits and options. Options let you know beta program's unavailable. I guess there's a code to redeem maybe like some outfits. Let's go back. Let's click the outfits. Let's just pick this guy. You know what? Let's pick this guy. Okay, so there's more to be unlocked. Cool. Let's click play. And we're gonna go main mode. So instantly we're dropped into the game. We do have controller support. Let's see. We have controller movement. I'm pushing all the buttons and none of them jump. So we have like partial controller support, I guess you would say. Like I said, none of the buttons are doing anything for me. Controller's clearly working. So we got to go to mouse. Now the mouse is going to be really dependent on, you know what? I need to reset my progress. I think there's a way to do that. Let's see here. Reset achievements and progress. Achievements actually spelled wrong. There's an E between the V and the M. But so let's start it over. Okay, so the mouse movement is okay. Now people's DPI are going to be different, so you may, I don't know if there's any kind of like let's see. Oh, well, let's see. Can I pause at all? Okay, so I don't think there's a way to pause at all. I think when you press escape, it goes right to exit, and people have a tendency to push escape to go to options, and if they do that, it's going to automatically quit whatever they're doing, right? So like if you're on this block, push escape, back, but that doesn't let me start back where I was, so it starts me back over. So you definitely want to adjust that so that it doesn't do it that way. Music is cool. I did notice playing it through that, I wish there were some more music tracks. So one thing you can do is kind of make it where you get different tracks maybe as you progress through the game, or because I know the way this works is like we hit here, we're going to go up a level. We hit like a checkpoint kind of thing. I guess it's like the next level. So making it where there's a different set of tracks for that next level is really cool. Because, it is very calm and serene, but eventually you might get tired of hearing the same one over and over. So having some sort of setup in there where there's, gotta concentrate a little bit on these, where there's more than one option for music, like additional songs whenever you hit this next area, would be nice. I notice I'm getting the Steve achievements again. Obviously I hit the button that says reset, so here you gotta kind of do a trick jump, I guess you'd call it. Character looks good. Obviously the level design, the level, I guess we'll call it the level, not the design necessarily, but the physical look, the objects, things like that. I understand, obviously we're going for like kind of a basic look here, right? Kind of basic looking cubes, pretty standard Unity stuff with just a simple texture on them, which is cool, but they don't really fit each other. So you've got, a good quality character with good looking animations and everything in here. And then you've got kind of this much lower quality on the, basic blocks. I didn't make that. And textures. So it's kind of, you want to maybe pick one and kind of go with it. So either, improve the look of the other objects that are not the player, or maybe you just go a little lower, lower kind of poly setup with the character. No reason to go this like high poly, I guess you would say, if it's not going to fit with the rest of the game. Yeah, see, there's that same song and it just kind of starts over. I don't know if there's, I can't remember if there's a run. I think there is. I think shift run. Oops, I just fell right off. I think shift does run. So maybe I'll try shifting there on the next one. Next time I do that. I did not even make that. Holy crap. Okay, alright. Well, that was terrible. I definitely play more controller than I play mouse and keyboard. Not that I can't play mouse and keyboard, obviously, but I do play more controller games. So getting that controller support set up on a game like this might be nice sooner rather than later. And it's not too difficult in the Unity engine with their built-in input manager. You just have to make sure that when you're setting your inputs, instead of doing like input, you know, and you want to get the input called space, like for spacebar, you would do an input and get the input called jump, and then jump is automatically assigned with the Unity input manager to a button on the keyboard or controller, to both. I don't know why I can't. Am I jumping out the wrong spot? I feel like, I mean, I definitely made that before. I definitely got to the next area. So one of the other things that I found is that I don't know how much variety there is in the game, in a sense that, you know, I've seen some of the mission stuff. It looks a little bit different. Is this my jump that I'm having trouble with? I got it that time. So I've seen some of the mission stuff. It's this one. And I know that, hold on. I didn't make that. What I don't know is if there is any kind of variety in the level design other than jumping on blocks. Meaning, are there blocks that move? Are there blocks that, you know, go up and down, go left and right, disappear, like anything like that? Stuff that's not a very difficult kind of implementation. It's pretty easy to get some of that stuff set up, and a lot of those scripts are already kind of built into Unity or built into some of the standard assets. But introducing that stuff earlier to create the variety for the character earlier on, right? So, hold on. If that stuff is available, if it's in the game already, but just not here in the game, maybe adding that stuff earlier would be beneficial so that the character or the player understands that there are actually some other mechanics into the game. Like I see here, we've got this nice sloping area that we can go down to, but realistically that's still kind of just the same thing, right? There's not a new mechanic there. Obviously somebody like speedrunners would be a good target for this. I'm just not making that. I guess I have to. Okay, I've made this before several times. Gotta kind of hang yourself off the thing here to make it. Okay, well, we'll just, there it is. There it is. Oh, I didn't make that. You really got to like utilize the entire edge of this thing and kind of do the old like Donkey Kong Country. That was the one when I remembered a lot of like jumping off of the edge of the block. So I don't know what the play is here. It's a very difficult spot, and I wasn't sure even the first time I played this level. Like I said, I have played it a couple of times. You know, if the trick is to kind of jump from the top and go for the next area, or if the trick there is to like, I wasn't sure if that ramp was going to really have any impact on the jumping, and it doesn't really seem like it does. All right, let's get there. Oh no. But, you know, overall, I mean, adding in, again, something on the skyboxing kind of area here would be nice to just have some additional kind of something to look at. It's obvious this is Unity default skybox, and, you know, I get that this is kind of going for that, like, low-budget look, but, you know, adding in kind of anything else to give the player a little bit of variety in there, other than just, like, changing the color palette between red on the floor and yellow on the floor and blue on the floor. And again, I think that personally adding in, and it's going to add in a level of difficulty. Obviously, you have to kind of determine where that difficulty level is going to lie, who's going to be playing your game, how frustrated are they going to get with it, you know what I mean? Like, this third level is pretty tough, so you're going to find that a lot of players are going to stop after this level and not make it past this one. So if that's the case, you need to go ahead and have something introduced here that gets makes the player want to continue playing by the time they get to this level. You don't want them to get to that level, get frustrated, and then quit out. So let's just kind of, I mean, I don't even know if you can make this jump. Can you make this jump? I guess you can. Okay, all right. All right, just, is the jumping different in this level? It feels different. Some reason. But again, you know, we have a bunch of, looks like stationary blocks, right? So let's hit this one. What does this do? Do we get a counter for how many times we've died, or a counter for how many times we got into the top? I don't really understand what the counter. Let's just jump off and see. Okay, so the counter doesn't seem to do much. Maybe it shows you like what level you're on. I think it would be interesting in a game like this to have like a death counter, like just a persistent overall toll on how many times you've died, either on a particular level or on all levels. Something that players can kind of laugh at with each other and compare to each other. That's always a good time. So this is just like the first level again. Okay, yeah, I made it. Is that what it is? Okay, and if you fall off, oh, okay, all right. That's how many times you can go over the same one over and over. Interesting. Complete level 1 100 times. Oh my god, seriously, 100 times in a row? That's insane. This one I saw as well, and all this running at the beginning is just pretty silly, honestly, on this one. The player is going to get frustrated kind of just like jumping off the level way up there and then having to start this running all back over again. And again, after like 1 or 2 tries, they're probably just going to be like, yeah, I'm just not going to do this one anymore. So some of the level design, I think, is where there could be some improvements, I would say. We'll get this one kind of a one-shot here. And again, I think, you know, kind of giving each level different music, what that does is it kind of gives it a feel. Like right now, all the levels feel kind of the same, because they all have that same song just kind of playing over and over. So adding in more variety, fake variety, I guess you would say, by adding in even just different music is a good way to give yourself some really quote-unquote like cheap variety to levels. Let's see how we're doing. We're not doing too bad here. Okay, all right, good. Obviously, the kind of like looking down on the camera is the trick, right? So you can kind of get the direction. It seemed like a high jump, but we made it. All right, we're gonna go all the way down to the green one. Ah, let's go. I guess that's what that was there for. So no fall damage, obviously. Just a big fall. If you fall off, the bad things happen. Got a chance at this one here. Oh! Does take a minute to get used to the... Oh no! The jumping, and now I fall, and again, now having to start all the way over on this one. I mean, that's a little bit too much, right? So, I think that doesn't really play in well to it. And then obviously the menu system is going to need a lot of reworking so that you can pause the game, maybe access some of the settings kind of while you're doing other things. Obviously, these are like default Unity buttons, so, you know, no kind of changes on there. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think it's an interesting concept. I mean, I think that I haven't really played anything else like this too much, so you know, I think it's cool to kind of lean into the, like, you know, young solo developer, you know, just kind of lean into that, play into that, and put it on the Steam page if you can. Put it everywhere. Put it at the beginning of the game. Put a notice that says, hey, you know, this is me. I developed the game. You know, first time, first game, whatever. Like, lean into that stuff, and people will think about it differently. If they didn't know any better and they just played this game in the Steam store just without any kind of context, they might just say, oh man, this like looks kind of lazy. But when you learn that, like, you know, hey, it's a younger developer, it's his first time, solo dev, when you learn about all that stuff, it changes the perception of people and what they think about your game. So you really want to put that stuff as much as you can kind of in the game, just so that people can kind of understand where you're coming from and think about the game differently. Either way, I appreciate you let me check it out. I mean, I think it's a cool game, and congrats for getting it set up on the Steam store, and I kind of look forward to the evolution of it as it goes in the future. See you next time.